Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Miss Ryder and I talk about all things motorbikes. Sometimes I decide to go other ways and talk about like lifestyle or mental health or books or my dog, but most of the time I talk about motorbikes. So, do you think that riding a motorbike is all about looking effortlessly cool? Well, let me tell you, there is a whole other adventure after the ride, especially if the motorbike is your only form of transport. So you got to deal with your hair, you got to deal with your other style dilemmas. So join me as I chat about the unique fashion challenges only a biker girl gets. From static shots and I just said static shots, didn't I? Static shocks and dreaded knee pad marks because trust me, if I have to sit in my biker girl trousers for more than 30 minutes, my knees are bright red when I take off my cargos. But yeah, come along to the discussion where I'm going to talk about all of the different challenges of biker girl style and all of the things that actually do make you feel cool. So this video is about some solutions that I've picked up over the years and shared experiences, not just complaining. But first, we'll go into helmet hair and like hacks to prevent helmet hair. Because if you have long hair and you ride a bike and you don't wear your hair in a bun, then you end up literally getting matted hair or knotted hair, and it is not fun to brush after you have been on a ride. So, one of the things I will suggest is wearing your hair in a bun, although I know a lot of biker girls like to wear the hair in plaits, which is fair enough, but the end of your hair can still get knotted. So, there are alternatives, but obviously, if the helmet hair isn't a problem for you, then ignore me. You can get fake plaits, not the ones, I know what you're thinking, not the ones that you stick on the top of your helmet. They are actual like hair extension type things that you can stick to the back of your helmet, which I know a lot of people probably be like, why would you go through that much trouble? But honestly, if you try brushing your hair after you get it knotted on a motorbike, you'll understand why some people might want to do that. My hair is still not long enough yet to be able to put it in a plait long enough that you can actually see it out the bottom of my helmet. So I always have my hair in a bun, so it's usually fine. If you again have long hair and ride a bike, and you wear it down, it gets in your mouth. Especially if you wear a balaclava, it gets in your mouth and you cannot get it out.
And just like that, it's the worst day of my life.
Unless you pull over and literally either take your entire helmet off or just dig around in your helmet for like 20 minutes to try and find the hair. It is really irritating, which is why I always have my hair up when I'm riding my bike. So, a few things I have heard that are really good for when you don't want to knot your hair is silk scarves or silk balaclavas. Apparently, they are really good for your hair and they don't get as knotted. You can also get the Hightail bike hair protector, which is just you scoop your hair up in it and it's on the back of your helmet and it just scoops your hair all inside the helmet. They are said to be pretty good. Also, just like a regular balaclava can be good, but obviously, if you are again, if you're wanting to wear your hair down, so I don't know, so like people know that you're a female or know that you're a biker girl, then I think the knotted hair might just be something that you'd have to deal with. You'd have to, I mean, you could invest in a detangling hairbrush. Like, if you're wanting to wear your hair down all the time, then a detangling hairbrush is definitely the way to go. Okay, so another one that I mentioned, another like nightmare that female bikers might encounter to look cool is the knee pads in any armored cargos, any armored leggings. I mean, obviously, biker men might also face this problem because there's obviously still a lot that men wear that are similar to women's gear, but today we are talking about biker girls. So, not only are the knee pads extremely bulky, but they also just hurt after a while. Well, they don't hurt actually, to be fair.
Why you always lying?
I get red marks on my knees from wearing them for long periods of time, but other than that, they are they don't really cause much of a problem for me. But if you use your motorbike as your main mode of transport and you don't have the space to be carrying extra clothes with you everywhere, then what you are wearing on the bike is what you are going to have to be wearing all day. And if you know biker boots, they are not walking boots.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock.
But like even just walking for 10 minutes in biker boots is so horrible. It hurts your feet so much. So at least bringing a pair of shoes with you wherever you go would be a good idea. I think the rest of the gear is like manageable. It's not too bad. Back to the knee pads though. When I had a work event and I did take extra clothes with me, but I got there and I was like, you know what, I can't be bothered to get changed. Plus I didn't think that the cargos would fit in my bag, which I didn't think about when I actually packed, was where was I going to put my boots once I actually got changed, and where was I going to put my cargos. They wouldn't have fit in my bag. I was just like, okay, I'll just sit in them because they're not that uncomfortable, and I'll just take my boots off and put my trainers on, and then that'll be fine. And then I went into the meeting and I just looked at my knees and I was like, what if they think that I just have really bulgy knees? Like, what if they just think that my knees are that huge? Because they double the size of your knees, so it just looks like you have ginormous knees. So I ended up getting changed, and I just put the cargos on the back of my chair. But I feel like the best gear if you are commuting full time, for in the summer at least, would be like the Pando Moto gear or the Nox gear, because they've just come up with a AAA nicely fitted hoodie and jacket, and I think that's probably the dream for most biker girls, is to get that type of gear and still have the protection. So those ones are really good to go for if you commute all the time on a bike, because I feel like normal biker gear like a full leather suit is not practical if you are going to work, or like if you're going on a normal ride, then it doesn't matter what you are. Obviously wear your gear, but it doesn't matter what gear you wear. But if you commute to work or commute to literally like anywhere, then you want to be able to be comfortable when you get to the place you're going to, at least. I think the bulky knee pads is not one that you can get away from, because that's just how it is. That's the protective pads in there. So you obviously aren't going to be able to not have that protection. So I think bulky knee pads are not like the worst thing in the world, but between me and you, they are very uncomfortable. So if you are looking for outfit ideas that transition from riding gear to casual social outfit, then I would go for the Nox or the Pando Moto, like the layering ones, because they are really thin, they're really nicely fitted, and you could just wear anything you wanted over the top. But they are also extremely expensive. But if you were wanting to look for something like that would be able to wear all day, those are definitely some very good options. That's another thing that I have with biker girl gear, is that we finally get one that I feel like all the biker girls will want to wear, and it's like 300-400 pounds. Like, what the fuck? Let us girls have at least one good, nice looking piece of gear. There is also the issue with makeup, but I am not going to go into this topic too much because I, as you can see, don't wear makeup very often. But I used to, and I kind of stopped wearing it because it was such a hassle with the motorbike helmet that I just couldn't be bothered to do it anymore. But there are a lot of things you can do, which is the sticky, really, really sticky primer, setting it with powder and setting spray after you do it, and getting the silk balaclavas, which really help with sliding the helmet off your head instead of like taking all the makeup with it. Another thing you can do is doing the makeup after you've put your helmet on, but that's not one I would typically go for, or keeping makeup with you to touch up your makeup. Another thing you can do to kind of counteract it is the way you put your helmet on. You can keep your hand, so have a balaclava and keep the balaclava up over your face and hold it with one hand and pull the helmet down, and then slide your hand out and pull the balaclava down, because that stops the helmet from pulling the makeup as much. But makeup's a really hard one. You have to set it really, really well for it to not come off, and I still think it still comes off at least a little bit. But I know that a lot of biker girls like having makeup on, especially eye makeup like eyelashes or eyeliner when they're riding. I definitely would if it wasn't so much of a hassle. I love having makeup on, but I just don't want to do all the makeup and that for it to just then be pulled off as soon as I take my helmet off. So I just don't bother. But yeah, a really, really good thing to invest in if you like wearing makeup is definitely setting spray, setting powder, and that really sticky primer that is advertised everywhere where people literally like stick stuff to their face. That one's always really good to go for. So that is some of the nightmares that come with looking effortlessly cool on the bike. If you do wear gear, then you'll understand a lot of what I am talking about, and you'll know that the effortlessly cool is not effortless at all. And wind and rain and just the biker girl gear market in general is a pain in the butt. I feel like the image of someone trying to do the scene where Megan Fox takes her helmet off in Transformers and like swishes her hair around, that's the type of look everyone wants, but that is not realistic at all. If you see anyone that rides a bike and does wear a balaclava and they pull their helmet off, the balaclava's like covering their face and it's like up like this, and it's just not pretty. But if they don't wear a balaclava, then they are much more likely to have like their hair everywhere and look very windswept. So two sides to the coin. Anyway, I think I have covered almost all of the nightmares of being a biker girl when it comes to the fashion side of things. If I've missed anything, then let me know down in the comments and let me know what you think of this video. Thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. Bye!